In the beginning, before the shaping of the world, and before the mountains rose from the seas, there was only the great music, sung by the Ainur under the guidance of Eru Iluvatar. Among those mighty spirits was Melkor, the most powerful of them all, whose voice was stronger, deeper, and more majestic than any of his brethren. Yet in his pride, he sought not harmony but dominance, twisting the song to his own desires. Where others sought to create beauty, Melkor desired control, and in the heart of his song, dissonance was born. Thus began the first shadow, the root of all evil in Arda, long before the coming of elves or men. Melkor became the darkest lord, whom later ages would know as Morgoth, the black foe of the world. When the Vala descended into the world to shape it, Melkor followed, bringing fire, ice, and ruin to all that was made. He raised mountains only to tear them down, filled seas only to dry them, and spread chaos where order was planted. His desire was not creation but corruption, bending all things to his will. In the great wars that followed, he battled the Vala, and though he was driven back, he built his stronghold Utumno in the far north, a fortress of iron and fire where the first true darkness festered. It was there that he bred countless monsters, twisted spirits, and horrors that would plague Middle-earth for ages, Balrogs with whips of flame, great beasts, and the first experiments that would later lead to orcs, trolls, and dragons. When the elves awoke under the starlight, Melkor sought them, desiring to enslave or destroy them. It is whispered that he captured many, twisting their forms through torment and cruelty, giving rise to the orcs who would forever hate their fair kindred. The Vala, seeing the growing threat, waged the war of the powers, shattering Utumno and chaining Melkor in the halls of Mandos. Yet evil is never slain so easily. For 3 ages he remained bound, but when he was freed, he wore a mask of false humility, hiding his malice behind soft words and feigned repentance. The elves of Valinor, innocent and proud, were deceived by his lies. Among them, he whispered poison into the heart of Fëanor, fanning the flames of pride and jealousy. From this spark came the forging of the Silmarils, jewels that captured the light of the 2 trees, treasures so pure and radiant that they became the heart of Arda itself. Melkor's envy grew into obsession. Under the cloak of night, he struck his greatest blow. He allied with Ungoliant, the primordial spider of endless hunger, and together they destroyed the 2 trees, plunging the world into darkness. In that same moment, he stole the Silmarils, sealing them in his iron crown. Fëanor cursed him, naming him Morgoth, the Black Foe, and from that moment, all of Arda trembled at the sound of that name. The theft of the Silmarils unleashed wars that spanned centuries, wars of vengeance, oaths, and betrayal. The greatest of the elves, along with mighty men, waged endless battle against Morgoth in Beleriand. Yet none could match his cunning and cruelty. Dragons like Glorung and the monstrous winged Wyrms were born from his designs, spreading terror and fire across kingdoms. His Balrogs cut down kings, and his lies divided allies. Even noble houses of men fell under his shadow, some betraying their kin for false promises of power. But Morgoth's reign was not without resistance. The Noldor, despite their pride, stood against him with valor. Fingolfin, High King of the Noldor, in a moment of legendary defiance, rode alone to the gates of Angband, Morgoth's greatest fortress. There, before the iron doors, he challenged the Dark Lord himself. The duel was terrible and glorious. Fingolfin wounded Morgoth 7 times, his blade drawing black blood from the godlike tyrant. Though Morgoth crushed him in the end, the wounds never fully healed, and the Darkest Lord walked thereafter in pain, limping forever as a scar upon his pride. The end of Morgoth came only in the War of Wrath, when the Vala unleashed their full might, and the hosts of the West descended upon Middle-earth. His dragons filled the skies in fire, yet even they fell before the wrath of Arendelle, the mariner who sailed the heavens with a Silmaril upon his brow. Angband was broken, its pits torn asunder, and Morgoth was cast down, chained once more. But this time there would be no reprieve. The Vala thrust him through the door of night, beyond the walls of the world, into the timeless void. Yet even in exile, his shadow lingers. His will seeped into the earth, the hearts of men, and the works of his lieutenant, Sauron, who would rise in later ages to carry forward his master's dark legacy. For in truth, every evil in Middle-earth, the corruption of Numenor, the forging of the One Ring, and the great wars of later ages, traces back to Morgoth, the first and greatest Dark Lord. Thus is told the saga of Tolkien's darkest figure, a being of unmatched power, consumed by pride, envy, and destruction, whose fall echoes across every story of Middle-earth. For though he has gone beyond the world, his shadow remains, whispering still through the ages, the black foe of the world, the true darkest lord.